Good day, engineers. In this lecture video, we are going to discuss descriptive statistics. So, we are going to talk about the measures of central tendency, the measures of position, and the measures of variability. But before that, let us discuss what is a frequency distribution table. So, a frequency distribution table is a way to organize data by showing how often each value or category appears in a dataset. So, meron tayo dito, we have two methods. It is the tabular methods and the graphical methods. So, under the tabular methods, we have raw data, which are collected data that have not been organized numerically. So, hindi pa siya na-organize. So, kung ano yung nakuha nating data, it is what it is. Parang gano'n. Ano na bang color yung gandang pangsuit? Okay? So, next is array. An arrangement of raw data in ascending or descending order or magnitude. In an array, any value may appear several times. So, kapag sinabing ascending, it is pataas. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, kapag descending, it is pababa. 4, 3, 2, 1. So, frequency, it is the number of times value may appear in a listing. So, kung ilang beses lumabas yung certain value. For example, sa isang data o sa array, meron tayong 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, ganyan. So, ang frequency dito ng 2, kunwari, ililist kasi natin yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ang frequency ng 1, isa, kasi isang beses lang lumabas. Frequency ng 2 is dalawa. Frequency ng 3, isa. Frequency ng 4, isa. And frequency ng 5, isa. So, kung ilang beses or the number of times na lumabas yung ating number. Okay? So, relative frequency of any observation is obtained by dividing the actual frequency of the observation by the total frequency. So, later on, meron tayong example dan para makuha yung relative frequency. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang type of data which is ungroup and group. So, ito, when the data is small daw, so n is less than or equal to 30, or when there are few distinct values, the data may be organized without grouping. So, ito, parang, for example, meron tayong, ito yung data natin, n. So, meron tayo, sabihin na lang natin age. So, sa age, meron tayong 1, 2, 3. So, kapag kukunin natin dyan, for example, the frequency, ilan ang merong age na 1? Ilan ang may age na 2? Ilan ang may age na 3? So, dito naman sa group data, statistical data generated in large masses or n is greater than 30 can be assessed by grouping the data into different classes. So, kapag masyado nang madami yung ating data, for example, sa age, kukunin kasi natin yung may edad na 1 to 100 sa isang barangay. So, ang ginagawa dito kapag group data, meron tayo dito, pagsasamahin na or i-group na yung mga may age na 1 to 3. Then, 4 to 6. Parang ganyan. Pero sa iba, hindi naman necessary na kapag lumagpas na ng 30, kailangan i-group mo na. So, nakadepende pa rin yan sa kung anong kinukuha mong result. Okay? So, ito, sample problems tayo. A certain machine is to dispense 1.6 kilos of sodium nitrate. To determine whether it is properly adjusted, wait lang. To dispense 1.6 kilos, the quality control engineer weigh 30 bags of sodium nitrate, so 1.6 kilos each after the machine was adjusted. The data given below refer to the net weight in kilos of each bag. Arrange the data in frequency table. So, ito yung mga data ng 30 bags of sodium nitrate. So, mga kilo po ito, weight yan. Wait. So, mga weight po yan in kilograms. So, solution natin, naano ko na to nalagay ko na. So, ganito lang naman yung solution niya. We have table. So, isusulat natin si weight. So, kung papansin ninyo, meron tayong weight dito na 1.56. Wait lang. 1.56, 1.59, 162, 160. Ano pa yung isa? 158. So, yun lang naman yung nakikita nating mga data. So, ito na siya. Nilist down natin. So, kapag nililist natin, anong manner to? It is ascending manner. Kasi pataas. So, 1.56, 1.58, 1.59, 1.60, 1.62. So, ang gagawin natin sa next column is itatali natin kung ilang beses lumabas si 1.56. So, after that, yun yung ating frequency. So, frequency natin, 6 na beses, so 6. So, dito naman, 4, dito 5, dito 6, dito 9. So, kapag inad nyo, ito si 30. So, anong tawag kay 30? Yan po si ating total frequency. Total frequency. And, sa relative frequency, paano na natin siya isolve? Sabi kanina, obtained by dividing the actual frequency of the observation by the total frequency. So, pag dinivide lang natin yan, ito, paano nakuha? I-divide natin si frequency daw ng data na yon over the total frequency. So, 6 over 30. So, ito din, 4 over 30. Then, ito, 5 over 30. Ito ay 6 over 30. Then, last, 9 over 30. Check na natin, baka mali. Okay, so tama. Then, kapag inad nyo itong relative frequency, kailangan mag-1 yan. So, kapag hindi yan nag-1, may mali sa ginawa ninyo. Okay? So, ganyan lang yung pag-solve natin ng relative frequency. Okay, so ito yung mga graphical methods na sinasabi ko. So, alam nyo naman na yan. So, familiar na kayo sa iba't ibang uri ng graph. So, meron tayong line graph, bar graph, histograph, frequency polygons, time series graph, and yung tinatawag na stem plot. So, hindi na natin yan i-discuss kasi masyado nang mahaba. Okay? And wala na rin time para mag-graph. Okay, so nandito na tayo sa measures of central tendency. So, the central tendency is stated as the statistical measure that represent the single value of the entire distribution or a dataset. It aims to provide an accurate description of the entire data in the distribution. So, we have different types or under the central tendency, meron tayong tatlo. So, we have the very, very familiar na kayo dito. Mean, median, then mode. Okay, sa mean, the mean represents the average value of the dataset. So, yun lang naman yung keyword nyo. Kapag sinabing mean, it is the average. So it can be calculated as a sum of all the values in the dataset divided by the number of values. In general, it is considered as the arithmetic mean. Some other measures of mean used to find the central tendency are as follow. So geometric mean, harmonic mean, then weighted mean. So yung formula natin, so mean is represented by mu. So ito yung ating data 1, data 2, then parang kung ilan sila, i-divide natin kung ilang numbers. Okay, so median. Median is the middle value of the data set in which the data set is arranged in ascending order or in descending order. So kahit ano pala yung pag-arrange nyo, kung ascending or descending order. When the data set contains an even number of values, then the median value of the data set can be found by taking the mean of the middle two values. Meaning lang nan, for example, meron tayong 5 data. For example, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, ang median dito, since naka-arrange na to in ascending order, is the 7. But, kapag dinagdagan natin to, which is number 4, ang magiging median natin dyan is yung mean ng gitna. So, ito yung gitna natin, tama? Kasi wala tayong gitna. Ang gitna nito is nandito. Tama? So, ang gagawin natin is i-average natin yung nasa gitna, which is 6 and 7. So, 6 plus 7 over 2, ito na po yung ating tinatawag na median. So, 6 plus 7 over 2, 6.5. So, ito na yan. Okay, so sana na-gets nyo. Kapag add number, since add number naman, sulat ko na lang dito, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, kapag add number, yung pinakagitna. Pero kapag even number, for example, ito nga, average nung nasa gitna. So, letter C is the mode. The mode represent the frequently occurring value in the data set. So, kung ano yung pinaka mas madalas na nag-occur or lumalabas sa ating dataset, it is the mode. So, sometimes the dataset may contain multiple modes, and in some cases, it does not contain any mode at all. So, kapag walang naulit, no mode siya. So, let's solve these sample problems. Consider the data, 98, 94, 111, 92, 127, 93, 103, 91, 93, 112. Compute the mean measurement. Okay, so what is our first step? So, first step natin is to arrange muna yung ating data set. Wait lang, guys. Okay, so ano ang pinakamababa? Wala kasi akong solution dito. So, 91 ba? 92? 93? 93. Check ko nga. 91, 92, 93, 93. 94. Then, 98, 103, 111. So, pwede nyo akong sabayan mag-solve. 112, then 127. Okay, so paano? Sorry, mean pala yung sinusolve natin. So, kapag mean naman, hindi naman na kailangan na naka-arrange. Sorry, akala ko median. So, kapag ganyan, sa mean natin, ang formula natin is si mu is equals to x1 Ganon. Lang. x1, x2, then xn over n. So, ilan ang n natin dito? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, we have 10. Then, sa pagkuha ng ating mean, solve na lang natin. 91 plus, ito na lang. Pag-plusin nyo na lang to. So, ang equal nan, wait lang guys kasi wala din akong solution. So, we have 1,014. So, 1,014 over 10. Ang sagot is wait lang Ang sagot ko ay 101.4. So, tama ba to? Wala kasi akong Hala, bakit ganyan yung sagot ko? Parang mali ako. Tama naman. Diba? Bakit 36 yung sagot dun sa sa handout? Ala, wait nga. Parang kinapi ko siya tas hindi ko napalitan. Okay, so sorry guys, mali yung ating sagot doon sa ating handout. So 101.4. So tama naman yan. Okay, so next, consider the data. 26, 23, 26. So ito na yung ating i-arrange kasi ang hinahanap ay median. So arrange natin, pinakamababa is 19. Then 23. Tama ba? Then, dalawang 26, 26. Tapos si 29. Next, si 34 na dalawa. Tapos 35. Then, 37 na dalawa. So, ang gitna natin, so ito yung tatlo. So, ang gitna natin is dito. Since even pala to, anong sabi ko kanina? Iti-take natin yung average nung dalawang nasa gitna. Okay, so 29 plus 34 over 2 is 31.5. 31.5. Okay, so next. Since na-arrange naman na natin, or kopyahin ko na lang para hindi kayo malito. Kasi parehas lang, pero ang hinahanap na dito is the mode. So, ang mode dito, ano ang madalas lumabas? So, si 26, dalawa, 34, dalawa, 37. So, ang mode natin dito is meron tayong tatlong mode, which is 26, 34, then 37. So, ito yung ating tatlong mode. So, okay lang na okay lang kung dumami ang mode, kung madami ang modes natin sa isang dataset. So, ang tawag dyan, since tatlo yung ating mode, is the trimodal mode. Kasi tatlo. Okay, so sana na-gets nyo yung ating sample problems. Okay, so punta na tayo dito sa measures of the location of the data. So, tinatawag din nila tong measures of position. So, measures of position are various techniques that are used to divide the data into equal groups. This value tells us the position of the value in the dataset relative to the other values. The data must be arranged in ascending order to compute the measures of position. So, malinaw na sinabi na ang data lang natin dito ay dapat naka-arrange in ascending order. Okay, so meron din tayo ditong iba't ibang measures of position. So, unahin natin si quartile. Quartiles divide the dataset into 4 equal parts. Different quartiles reflect the 3 values that divide the data into 4 equal parts. We denote the first quartile, so tandaan nyo yan as Q1, and it represents the 25% of the values less than it and 75% of the values greater than it. So, kung meron tayo ditong 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yung first quartile is si 1. Parang ganyan. Yan. Okay? So, the second quartile is also known as the median. So, as it reflects 50% of the values above it and 50% below it. It is denoted as Q2. So, kalahati. So, the third quartile has 25 values greater than it and 75 values smaller than it. It is represented as Q3. Okay? So, ito yung ating formula for getting the first quartile, second quartile, then third quartile. So, kung papansinin nyo, mabilis lang itong i-memorize. Kasi kapag first quartile, ito, 1/4. Then, 2/4 kapag second quartile, kasi 50%. Then, ito. Meron tayong 3/4 kasi 75% yung third quartile. So, interquartile range is a number that indicates the spread of the middle half or the middle 50% of the data. It is the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. So, yun yung interquartile range. Difference ng third quartile and the first quartile. So, sa deciles, a deciles splits the data set into 10 equal segments. It is the terminology in statistics that divides the data into 10 intervals. It actually splits the data into 10 equal segments on the number line. So, yung formula natin kanina, parang same lang, di ba? So, we have n plus 1 times I over 10. So, I natin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 10. So, hanggang 10. So, percentiles. The percentiles divide the data into 10 equal segments. Equal segments mean that each part has the same number of values in it. So, parang same lang yung formula natin kapag sinabing deciles over 10, percentiles over 100. Okay, so we have here a sample problems. So actually, ngayon ko lang mababasa itong mga problems dito. So consider the following scores in 150 item civil service exam. So yan, approximately, what is the score of the 80th percentile. Alam nyo ba? Ay, hindi na lang pala. So, nagre-record pala ako, so no chika. Okay, so arrange muna natin into ascending order yung ating data. So, we have 51, 59, 60, 61, 79, 86, 89, 99, 101, 102, 103, 105, 123, 135, then 137. So, ang N natin dito is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, we have 15. Then, sa formula natin, ano ba yung formula natin? Pang 80 eh. So, sa percentile tayo. So, ito, PI equals to N plus 1 times I over 100. So, meron tayo ditong PI is equals to, ano na yun? N plus 1 times I over 100. So, substitute natin, we have 15 plus 1, then 80 over 100. So, we have 12.8. So, kunin natin or hanapin natin kung asaan si 12.8. So, nandito siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, andito si 12, andito si 13. So, ang hanapin natin is yung value sa 12.8. So, kunwari 12.8. So, anong value yon? So, kukunin natin ngayon. Paano natin kukunin yan? So, gagamit na lang tayo ng Caltech. So, punta kayo sa inyong calculator, then mode 3, 2. So, mode 3, 2. Then, sa x natin, ilagay nyo si 12, then 13. Sa y naman natin, si 105, then 123. Tapos, wait lang. Sabayan ko kayo. Tapos, CA, sa mga nakakanon, CA, or, tawag dito, AC. So, CA, tapos apps, tapos, ala, nakalimutan ko. Char. Ito ba yun? Wait lang punta kayo sa reg. Reg, then pindutin nyo si yung naka-y hat. Tapos, may lalabas sa calcu nyo yung y hat. Punta kayo dun sa gilid ng y hat. Ang itatype nyo is 12.8 y hat. So, ang lalabas dito is 119.4. So, yun yung ating answer for number 4. Ang alam ko meron na yung sano, pero sige, hayaan ko kayong makadiscover. Okay? So, next problem, consider the following. Wait lang. May naririnig kasi akong nagtatawag. Okay, I'm back. So, consider the following actual indices of university rankings: 886, 903, 858, 920, 491, 827, 819, 873, 751, so on. Kayo na magbasa. Okay, so ang tinatanong, calculate the interquartile range. So, ano na ulit si interquartile range? It is the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. Okay? So, ano yung gagawin natin dito? Una, kunin muna natin si first quartile, second quartile, then third quartile. Arrange muna pala natin. So, 491, 655, 751, 794, 807, 819, 827, 858, 867, 873, di na kasya. 886, 903, then 920. So, kunin natin si first quartile, si second quartile, and si third quartile. Ano yung value nila? So, ang gagawin ko na lang, gagamit ako ng calcu. So, input nyo sa mode 3. Mode 3.1 lang. Okay na yon. Wait. 807, 819, 827, 858, 867, 873, 886, 903, then 920. So, CA, apps, then C, distribution. Tama ba itong pinagkagawa? Wait lang. Okay lang pala kahit hindi nyo na-solve kasi saan na yun? Parang sobra itong nasulat ko. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so tuloy natin. Medyo nag-pause ako kasi parang nalito din ako dito. So, ang Q2 natin is sabi natin kanina is the median. So, ang median natin dito is si 827. Then, ngayon, kapag kukunin kasi natin si first half, so, kung ito, dito, ang first half natin is si 794. So, siya si ating Q1. 794. Then, sa second half naman, which is ito, papunta dito, ang gitna naman natin is si 873. Since sabi nga natin kanina that the interquartile range is the difference of Q3 and Q1. So, meron tayo ditong 873 minus 794, which is 79. So, yun lang siya. So, medyo nalito lang ako. So, kaya naman pala ito ng mano-mano lang. Okay? So, number 6 tayo. With the following prevailing prices of the certain commodity, So, find the lower quartile. So, lower quartile is the first quartile. Okay, so arrange natin muna siya in ascending order. I-check ko lang kung nagre-record. Ah, 189 pala to. So, hanapin muna natin yung gitna, which is the Q2. So, ang Q2 natin dito is si 188. So, ito si ating Q2. Then, Q2 papuntang una. So, ang Q1 natin is nandito. So, Q1, wala kasing gitna eh. Tama. Walang gitna. So, kukunin natin yung average ng dalawa. So, 165 plus 183 over 2. So, 174. Pag may number naman dyan sa gitna, for example, dito may nasingit tayong 168. Ganun. Yung 168, yung ating Q1. Pero since wala ngang gitna, average yung kukunin natin. Okay, so next problem. Find the second quintile. Quintile o quartile? Quartile siguro yan. Wait. Quintile at quartile magka-same? One-fifth. Okay, quintile pala to. So, quintile is 1/5. Kasi kukunin natin yung kukunin natin yung second quintile. Eh di ano na yan, kapag quintile, i-divide natin siya into 5. Sulat ko na nga. Quintile, 5 groups. Sabihin na lang natin. Since kinukuha yung second quintile, ito po si 2/5. Okay, so ang gawin muna natin, arrange natin yung ating dataset. Okay, so ilan ang ating data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, we have 20. Then, kapag kukunin natin, Q2 is 20 plus 1, di ba? N plus 1 yan. Then, 2/5 equals to 8.4. So, parang kanina, kunin natin si X and Y, mode 3. So, si 8, then si 9. Bakit 8 at 9 pala? Wait. Kasi, so, kukunin natin si 8.4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, ito yung pang 8. Pero, ang kukunin natin is si 8.4. Eh, nandito sa gitna nilang dalawa ni 9. So, kaya, ang X natin dito si 8, ang 8 and 9. Then, ang 8 natin is 35. Ang 9 natin is 40. Okay, so kapag kinalky nyo to, mode 3-2, hanapin nyo ulit si y hat. So, 8.4 y hat is 37. Okay, so tapos na ba? Meron tayong last problem. Okay, with the data, find the 37th percentile. So, sulat ulit natin. 9, 10, 21, 21, 28, 30, 30, 30, 33. So, kudin natin si 37th percentile. So, P37 is equals to n plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 1. Then, 37 over percentile yan, kaya 100. Equals 3.7. So, hanapin natin yung 3.7. So, 1, 2, 3. So, ito 3. Ito si 3, tsaka ito si 4. Pares namang 21 yan. Walang pinagbago. Kaya, ang P37 natin is 21. Kung gusto nyong i-prove, gamitin nyo yung mode 3-2. Okay? So, nasa measures of variability na tayo. So, dito sa measures of variability, more on Caltech na tayo. Wait lang. Okay, so measures of variability. So, also known as the measures of dispersion. Quantify the spread or scatter of data points in a dataset. They describe how much data values differ from one another and from the center of the distribution. Key measures include range, standard deviation, and variance. So, let's start with range. It is the difference between the highest and the lowest data. So, variance naman, it is the average of square deviation of the data. So, for population variance, we have ito, sa population data natin kukunin. Ito yung formula niya. And for the sample variance naman, itong mga 2 mean ito Kapag population lang kasi mu, tapos kapag sample, x bar. So, n minus 1. So, theoretically, variance is also computed as follows. So, we will use Caltech dito sa part na to. Okay, so C, standard deviation, a measure of the average distance of data points from the mean, calculated as the square root of the variance. Okay, so let's start with our sample problems. Kasi dito, more on Caltech na yung ituturo ko sa inyo. Okay, so dapat meron yung calculator nyo sa tabi ninyo. So, with the data, 33, 10, 9, 30, 21, 21, 30, 28, what is the variance? So, sa pagkuha ng variance, input nyo lang, mode 3, 1. So, may makikita kayong table dyan, i-input nyo. So, mode 3, 1, input nyo, we have 33, 10, 9. Actually, the arrangement is kahit kung paano na na-arrange yung data natin sa sample problem. Then, after nyong ma-input, press CA. Input, di ba? Input. Then, CA. Then, after that, apps. Then, number 5, 3. 5, 3. So, makikita nyo dapat dyan yung parang ganito. Ang lalabas dapat yung X. Parang di naman siya X. Tapos kalimutan kong tawag ganyan. Wait nga. Anong tawag dyan? Ba't di lumabas? Ano na tawag sa ganun? Sigma? Lowercase na sigma. Then, N. Pero hindi pa yan yung variance. Ang gagawin natin is i-square natin yan. So, lagyan nyo ng square. So, ang makukuha natin ay 74.4375. So, ito yung ating variance. So, kapag magmamanual kayo, kunin nyo muna si min. Then, i-minus nyo sa 100. Wait, kunin nyo si min. Ang min natin dito ay 22.75. Wait, hindi pala ima-minus. Ang gagamitin nyo pala yung formula. Sorry. Mali-mali na naman ako. Ang formula kanina is ang hirap naman walang ano. I-try nyo na lang dyan sa formula natin. Yan. Try nyo na lang. Basta kapag nakuha nyo si min, input nyo lang ito dun sa formula natin. Okay? So, next problem na tayo. Standard deviation of the set of numbers. So, kapag standard deviation naman, parang iba yung dito. So, ang gagawin nyo, mode 3, 1, then input, CA, or AC sa iba then apps, 5, 3. So, lalabas si X, sigma, N. Mode 3, 1. Wait, input ko din para mas sure. 41, 32, 89, 5, 3. So, ang lalabas dapat dito is 20.141. Mahaba pa yan. So, ito yung ating sa population po. Next, Number 10, compute for the standard deviation of this set of numbers. So, yung part na to, gagamitin natin si sample. Same lang din, mode 3.1 input, pero ang pinagkaiba, apps 5, then 4. So, dapat lalabas si x, sigma, n minus 1. So, ang lalabas dyan, 6.667 sa sample. Kapag kinukuha yung standard deviation sa sample, pero yung isa naman is standard deviation sa population. Okay, sa number 4, medyo ang hirap ko ding inintindi dito. So, 12. If the sum of squares of 5 numbers is 165 and their variance is 8, what is the mean of the numbers? So, sulat ko na lang yung solution. So, we have variance. So, yung given natin is tawag dito, yung sum daw ng squares of 5 numbers ay 165. Tapos, ang variance daw natin is 8. So, ang hinahanap si mean. So, pwede nating isalpak sa ating formula, which is 8 is equals to 165 over, ilan bang n? Sabi dyan is sum of 5 numbers. So, 5 minus mu squared. So, lalabas si mu, 5. So, yun yung ating mean. Okay, last na. So, if the median of the set of numbers is 30 and the mean of the same set of number is 28, what is the theoretical mode of the set? So, yung mga level na ganito, pang tanungan na to sa board exam. So, 3, mean, median. So, where the value of median must be between the value of mean and the mode. Tama naman, di ba? Kasi, ang median is nasa gitna. So, kung ang median natin dito ay 30, ang mean naman natin ay 28. So, 3, 28 minus 30 is equals to 28 minus yung mode natin. So, 3 times 2, absolute value yan, 28 minus mode. Wait lang. So, kapag solve nyo yan, dalawa ang lalabas. It's either 22 shades of, sabihin natin, or 34. So, ang pipiliin nating mode, so sabi natin kanina, kailangan ang value ng median natin ay nasa between ng value ng mean at saka ng mode. So, sa tingin nyo, sabi, yung value daw ng median, dapat mean, tapos yung median nasa gitna daw ng mean at mode. So, sa tingin nyo, kung ang mean natin is 28, ang mode naman natin is, tama. Ang median naman natin is, ano na to? 30, ano ang mode natin? So, malamang si 34. So, 34 yung ating mode to satisfy yung gantong condition. So, yan yung theoretical mode ng ating set. Okay, last sample. The mean of the 3 number is 3 and the variance is 3. A second set of 5 numbers has a mean of 5 and the variance of 5. What is the variance of the combined set? Okay, so, paano ko pa sisimulan to? Ito yung ating formula ng variance. Kasi tinatanong yung variance. So, 3 summation of x 3 minus 3. Ito yan, no? Mean daw ng 3 numbers is 3, variance is 3. $36. Ito yung mu natin, din ito yung n. Tapos next, 5 is equals to 5 din. Ano ba yun? 5 minus 5. So, x2 natin is 150. $25. Mu then n. So, sabi, variance daw ng combine. So, ipag-combine lang naman natin yan. So, ang magiging solution natin is the formula ng variance is equals to summation ng, yung, tawag dito. So, yung sum ng una natin plus sum ng pangalawa over, ilan ba yung ating n? 3 tapos 5. So, 3 plus 5 minus yung ating mean, which is 9 plus 25 over 8. Di na nakita. Basta ganyan, squared to. 9 plus 25 over 8. So, 8 kasi yung ating data. So, 5.1875. So, yan yung ating answer for number 14. So, mag-focus kayo sa ating measures of central tendency and the measures of position. Kasi dun yung marami akong ilalagay for your exam. Okay, so that's all for our lesson. So thank you for watching, guys. So please comment on watching your name and your section. Bye, guys.